Hello, Lila World. So today I want to talk about diversity and the importance of not only embracing diversity, but really appreciating it. We're living in a society right now where it's very polarized. People are fighting against each other. And if somebody has a different belief than somebody else, that person is shunned, made fun of, disrespected. It's just, we're kind of losing the message of Christ in society today, at least from our actions, from the actions that I've seen people embracing in social media, and just in general. And I think we've kind of forgotten the fact that God made us all unique for a reason. We are all special, and we all have our own talents and gifts, and we all bring something to the table. When I am a substitute teacher and when I teach in my classes, I have learned very quickly that the most important thing that I need to do when I first walk into a classroom is establish a rapport with the students and establish rules. Those are the two things. If I don't do those right away, I have lost the class and it's going to be a tough day. So one of the things that I do, which seems to get students' attention, is when I talk about rules, the first rule I talk about is respect. And I say to the class, it doesn't matter if it's a first grade classroom, sixth grade, 11th grade. It does matter in how I say it, obviously, but this is the message that I usually say. I say my first rule is respect. Not only respecting me as the teacher and the adults in the room, but your fellow classmates, your peers. And I tell them, look around the room. There's not one of you that looks alike, dresses the same way, acts the same way, talks the same way, learns the same way, likes the same things. There's not one of you that is exactly like the other. And that's for a very good reason. A couple. The first reason is, if we were all the same, what a boring world this would be, right? We would have probably one type of music, one type of house. We probably wouldn't even have all the things that we have because everybody would be good at one thing and not so good at some other things. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is we all have strengths and weaknesses. We are not perfect. Not one of us is perfect. We have things that we're really good at, and then we have things that we're not so good at. And we use our strengths to help those that are not so strong in those areas, and vice versa. The things that we're not so strong in, we can accept help from others that are stronger in those areas. And I tell the kids, that's what makes this world go round. That's what makes this a good place. That's what makes it easier to live in this world, because we can help each other and we can accept help. That is the key. And we've lost that. Someone can have a different idea from you. Someone can look different. Someone can have been born in a different culture, have a different religion, a different idea that is totally foreign to you, and yet they bring something to the table that will show you a different perspective, and we have to be open to that. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it necessarily, but we have to be open to hearing about it and thinking about it, and not just shutting it down, and not just shunning somebody because they have different beliefs, not belittling them or saying mean things just because they believe differently than we do. That is not who we were made to be. So it got me thinking about this, just this, how God sees the world. Obviously, I'm not God, so I don't know exactly how God sees the world, but every once in a while I get a little glimpse of what I think is how God sees the world. And I was in church on Sunday, and I was listening to the choir sing so beautifully. And if you listen to a choir, there's different voices. There's the bass, the alto, the tenor, the sopranos, and they all make these beautiful layers which create the music. And without one of those layers, the music is not nearly as beautiful. I was listening to the guy next to me sing, and he had the lowest voice. He was like, oh, but it was a beautiful voice. It didn't sound like that. But he was singing in an octave or two, or I don't even know how much lower he was singing than I was, because I'm kind of a higher voice. But we're so different, and yet when we combine our talents, it makes a beautiful, more complete masterpiece. And so really that's my message for today, is we need to start accepting each other's differences. Start in this world today, we also have this idea that, at least some of us do, that we need to just forget about differences. Just, we're all on the same page, we're all on the same level. It's not true. We're all different, and that's for a very good reason. And we need to embrace each other's differences, not just sweep them under the rug and pretend they're not there. They're there for a reason. And we need to accept that and embrace that and enjoy that and appreciate that and celebrate that. And so really that is my message for today, is we are all God's chosen people. We're all God's people. He created each and every one of us. He loves each and every one of us just as much as the other. And we need to realize that. And we need to treat each other that way. Love. Love is the answer. We need to embrace our differences and respect them and appreciate them. So that's my message for today. Bye.